This is my new microphone. This is my normal background. I don't know how I managed to set this up. I know this looks really mess. The quality is not so good. But even though I think, okay, let me just record a video. So unlike my hair, unlike my microphone, despite of all these mess, why I'm telling you, if you are a software engineer already, or if you are going to be a software engineer now or in the future, you have to learn how to live with a mess like this. This is just an example, a basic level of mess. So I request you to forget about all these mess, ignore the background, just focus on the voice and the kind of content I'm about to deliver. Why I'm saying you this information is going to be a super important in your career is because I have seen so many people, in this industry from different domain. Personally, I'm in this industry since more than 6 or roughly 7 years, and I have involved in so many different organizations, being a part of so many different communities. I have seen the people achieved a massive level of success, and at the same time, I have seen the people who failed or achieved their rock bottom, right? So, success and failures, I have seen both, and personally, me, I have also not achieved a great success. And if you think, am I the right person to share this information? Obviously not if you compare with me with others, but with my perspective, with the kind of experiences I have, I will try to justify the amount of time you are going to spend in this video. So but I can vouch this video is going to be a next level kind of catalyst for your whole software engineering journey. So it's up to you. If you are looking for some kind of a masterpiece kind of content, then this video is going to be at that level of content, so stay tuned. So being a person in this industry more than 7 or 8 years, I have seen the people who achieved success in no time period, or maybe a couple of years. And also I have seen the people who felt stuck all the time. And I have also seen the people who feels like I'm just writing a code, I'm just building a project, I'm just solving two organization, but I'm not achieving any progress. There is no growth for me. I have seen these different kinds of people. And if I had to go back on time, and if I had to suggest myself, there are so many different things I could do to become a better software engineer or to achieve a massive level of growth. So in this video, I'm going to share you those actual things I wish someone could say me in that period of time when I was starting out as a software engineer. The journey would have been completely different. I would have been achieved a 5x a growth, a different personality traits, a different level of industrial experiences, and of course the financial whatever you call. So yeah, so if you are starting out or if you are already in this journey of becoming a software engineer, please watch this video completely. It could save you maybe a 10 years, it could save the next decade for you, or maybe prepare you for your next phase of software development personal lifestyle. Stay tuned. First thing, let me just break a myth, the myth about learn how to code. Everybody says learn how to code, but in reality the writing a code is actually a 20% of becoming a good software engineer. If I see myself in my first few years, I think writing a good quality syntax, learning about different frameworks or understanding the different kinds of algorithms is all we need to become a good software engineer. But later I realize is those are just a myth. The reality is completely different. So you might be wondering, okay, what are the true skill sets that sets apart from being a good engineer or the best software engineer? The first is understanding systems actually. Just don't write a code, understand the system. What does this means? This means understand the know-how of the whole projects paradigm. Understand the different parts of the projects. The projects might include the front end, back end, database, so many different things. So just don't write a code. If you, for example, if you are a front end developer, don't just write a front end code. Understand the whole systems, whole picture, how the code I'm writing can be used by the backend team or the behind the scene algorithms. Make yourself equipped with the knowledge base of the product first. Understand the systems, how those all tech stacks integrate together. This way, not only you'll write a code, but you'll make yourself more capable, more competent towards the projects you are working on. Another point could be, think from a sideline. Don't just focus in the state point, think kind of 360. While writing a code, you should also know, okay, this is a point where I have to optimize my code, or you'll need to understand, okay, this is the point where I have to release my feature or release my whole MVP product, right? So what happens most of the time is we get attached with our code base or the whole idea of the product itself. you know don't get biased. Push back yourselves and try to see from the top and understand, okay, these are the things that is required, these are the places I have to optimize, or I can ignore for now, or this is the right time to launch my product, right? So don't wait for the perfect time. At the same time, see the sidelines. These are the loopholes, these are the areas where I have to introduce some kind of optimizations, right? Or just know, okay, this is the time I have to push my code, or this is the time, okay, let me just integrate the back end with the front end, right? Don't wait for the perfect time to write a good quality code. Only the time when I write quality code, highly scalable, fully optimized, I'll push my code, I'll raise a PR, or I'll launch my MVP, right? So think through what is needed at that moment, do that, right? So another point could be, at the end, we write code for the machines, right? So but you also need to realize writing a code is not only for machines, it's also for humans, right? So sometimes you might have to work in the same projects in the future, or the new teams will get acquired by someone to work in that product, right? So we never know. So don't just write a code. Write the code in humanoid form. What does that mean? That means write the comments, make your code structure in such a way that everybody could understand, even the junior, even the senior, everybody could, so that the future you will thank yourself, okay, I did a best job. I write a code in such a way that everybody could keep adding the feature, everybody could fix the problem if they encounter anything, or everybody can acquire the product, or transform into the different industry by just revamping the code, right? So I see this issue most of the time. Writing code is just for the machines, right? Why should I invest so much of time to make it a kind of more human friendly? Let me just write a code and make it work, right? No, that's not how the game works, right? There are teams who work, who put their days and nights, sleepless hours to build the product, right? So these all, what does this mean? This means writing a great or the good quality code doesn't exist. Especially when you are learning how to code. If someone is saying just learn to code, that means for sure learn to code. But while learning, think about these all perspectives. Writing code in humanoid form. Think 360, right? And understand the projects and the system itself when writing a code. So when you are learning, so think all these things and try to build your own real life projects, try to contribute in open source projects, because now you don't have to be a perfect, right? Because industry also admires the person who does the grind, right? Who doesn't wait for the perfect moment to get things done, right? So now so why you are waiting for the perfect time then, right? Go out there, go to the internet, surf, or find a good or kind of a messy product idea and try to build in however the way you want, and try to contribute in whatever the open source projects out there in the market, right? That's how you can level up when you are starting out. Number two, you have to follow the principles but not the trend. So the biggest mistake I made is chasing the trend of the market. The React.js, the Next.js, the Rust, the Go, the artificial intelligence, so many different technological stack, right? I used to chase, okay, this time, okay, this next time. I used to launch so many different things at the same time, right? But later I realized is the top engineers, they don't really chase this kind of trend. Actually, they actually focus on the underlying technology behind this technological stack. And but there is a FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Always I can say, okay, if you don't learn these things, you'll be wiped out from the industry, right? There is a kind of fear everywhere. That is a trend. That's how the news, that's how the the marketing they do, right? So we don't have to get into those kind of trap, but look for what the top engineers or the experienced one is doing. Seek for the feedback, right? So later I realizes this is not how I should invest my time upon to get good at. I should focus on only couple of things and get my hands-on experience and understanding the baseline fundamentals. And whatever the tech stack comes in the future, I can transform my that fundamental knowledge to any kind of tech stacks, right? That's how they think, right? So this is the mindset of those all engineers, and actually I learned this the hard way. So I can give you three important principles that actually never goes out of styles. So despite of year 2025 or year 2040 or 2050, I think these three will be still relevant that point of time as well. So first is solid principle and clean designs. So this means despite of any different frameworks you use now or in the future, you have to write a code, you have to architect, you have to manage your whole code base, right? So understanding the solid principles enables you to write a clean code, and that actually matters in every framework. So the second thing will be understanding the design pattern. Despite of the kind of projects you work on, the kind of industry, the type of tech stacks, if you know the design systems, if you know the APIs, if you know the database, if you know the caching concept, these are all the patterns, how these are integrated together, then you can outperform anybody. Literally, you will be a 10x a better developer or engineer than the rest of the people, because these are the knowledge, these design patterns people do ignore most of the time. So why not make yourself equipped with these informations so that your future self will thank you later, because these concepts will make you stand out despite of the kind of technology or the tech stack or the industry you work. So another principle could be debugging and problem solving. So this means not just understand how to write a code or how to memorize the syntax. Make or build yourself in such a way that you know how to find a problem and how to solve that. Think from a negative scenario, understand how the quality analyst person think, right? How to ensure the quality of the project or the product. So understand how to debug, how to become a critical thinker and problem solver. So this will be a basic, but this will be a highly important one. So we are about to reach the last of the video, but this is the tip number 3, and it is the important one. Not just write a code, but build for the people. If you ask me, what is the topmost career tip in your whole career, then this is the one. This is the best career advice I have received from someone, and I like to give to everybody. And it is like this: software engineering is not just about writing a code, but it is about impacting people. Look, your code will be useless if nobody understands it, if it cannot solve a real problem, and if you cannot communicate your ideas properly. Your code will be worthless. So you need to look at the great developers, what they are doing and how they are doing. They are actually good at writing a clean technical documentation. They are really effective and great at explaining the technical concepts or the technical outline of the product to the non-tech persons. They are brutally great at working with the teams and giving and receiving the iterative feedback and criticism. So just having a knowledge of code doesn't make a great engineer, right? You have to have a soft skill, you have to have a different personality trait, so that You can play a game for a longer run. You can up skill, you can scale, you can switch the companies, you can do a transition, you can do so many things. you know Having a soft skill is like having a superpower. All right, so we are at near to the end of the video. I have given you, okay, I have shared you whatever, I have give you whatever 3 tips, right? So understand those tips in depth. Try to implement those all things in your day-to-day activities. You might be thinking, hey, Manoj is saying, don't be a perfect, but also he's saying try to make a clean code, write a documentation, right? At the end, becoming a kind of a little bit perfect matters, right? But it doesn't matter when you are starting out, right? So forget all the chaos, all the dilemma of becoming a perfection. Just get into the field, start writing a code despite of the mess. You know about mess, the camera, the lighting, the mic, right? So ignore all the mess. Just keep writing a code, build some projects, use it. If nobody wants to use by yourself. Put into your portfolio, right? Start contributing in open source projects. Gets a hands-on understanding of the design systems, the design patterns, right? Understand or keep in touch with the senior developers, with the good engineers, and try to understand their mindsets, how they think, how they work, and try to imitate their characteristics into your day-to-day life, right? So these are the small nitty-gritty details that actually matters. If you are a software developer, if you want to be a software developer, if you are ever dreaming of becoming a one, right? If you want to upskill, if you want to have 10x 20x growth in your upcoming days, so keep these things in mind, because I have learned brutally hard way. I have wasted a few years, but later I have learned, and I had a rapid growth after then. So yeah, that's all about this video. So if you have any questions, literally anything, so put in the comments. I'll like to help in whatever the form it's possible, right? So yeah, that's all. So ignore this mess. Thank you. Bye bye.